I'm gonna make you a calzleme. What the is that, you ask? It's a cross between a calzone and a calzleme. Big disclaimer. All these recipes are made by a database filing cabinet in my brain. If I cook a recipe that is dear to your tradition or dear to your heart, I'm doing it out of love and memory. Nothing's meant to offend. So here I am crossing together a calzone, a folded over Italian style pizza, stuffed pizza, and a calzleme, a Turkish, beautifully textured dough stuffed with spinach and cheeses and pan fried on the grill. And I'm going to use a rather traditional Indian recipe for my dough for a roti or slash naan. So it's a very basic self-raising flour and yogurt dough recipe. What do a calzone and a calzleme have in common? My love. First thing we're going to do is make our dough. It's a very simple dough. It's self-raising flour and yogurt. The most delightful thing about this dough is that it is so soft. So unlike a really beautiful sourdough, chewy crust pizza dough, this one doesn't have as long to prove or rise. I have measured out my ingredients. I've got 1.5 cups of self-raising flour, just plain white self-raising flour, and 1 cup of Greek style yogurt. We may need to adjust that slightly. I love this dough because it's just a really interesting combination of flavors. You have the tanginess of the yogurt. The live probiotics in the yogurt react with the raising agents in the flour to give you a little bit of puff, but not anything too extreme. Now I'm also just gonna add a nice teaspoon of salt in there. Oh, our dough's come together. It's looking good. It still hasn't formed a soft, elasticy dough. This dough could have a little bit more flour just to keep it off the edge. Give a little drizzle of olive oil as well. That's really going to help when we cook it. So I'm going to add a little bit more flour just to help that dough. It's got a beautiful texture already. I'm a recipe adjuster as I go. See, it's quite sticky. It's sticking on my fingers. I'm going to add a little bit more flour. We've almost added, I'd say, another 3/4 cup of flour. But I just want to take that sticky edge off. So I haven't gone any higher than number 4 on the speed with this. I think it's fast enough. Tell that dough what to do. So lovely and elasticy. Look at that. It's still very sticky. That's okay. I'm going to add a little bit of oil into the bowl just to stop it sticking. A little sprinkle of this on top. I'm going to pop that back in there with a little bit of oil on the bottom, a Glad wrap or a beeswax wrap, and leave it in a warm, dry place. It might prove a tiny bit. We'll see. Artichoke and spinach. 2 fillings going into the 1 calzleme, but I just want to make them separately. Less of a mushy filling and something, I don't know, hopefully with a bit more texture. So I've got these lovely long stem marinated artichokes from my local deli. I like the long stem ones, just means more flesh. Rough chop these because I want to be able to bite into a bit of artichoke when we cut open our calzleme. Quite possibly one of my favorite things to eat growing up. Brings back so many memories. I've got 3 artichokes chopped up roughly with about a cup or 120 grams of frozen spinach. So into that, I'm going to add a clove of garlic. This feels like a lot of garlic. I'm gonna just do a little bit less. I'm gonna add a pinch of chili flakes. This is an adults only lunch. Some salt, a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil, a little toss. This is going to be beautiful. It already smells fantastic. The nice thing about the artichokes too is they have a kind of, they're in oil, but they can have a kind of briny edge to them, which is nice. I feel like we could add a tiny splash of white wine vinegar. Now I've only got 1/2 cup of ricotta here, again, eyeball measurement. 1/2 block of feta. The block was 200 grams, so let's say this is 100 grams. So I'm just going to crumble that straight into the ricotta. That's also going to bring it a whole lot of zing. Grate this mozzarella into here. You could potentially just pull this apart with your hands. Look, I've said 1/2 cup of each of these cheeses. That's probably just the easy way to do it. So now we're going to combine these 3 cheeses. You could do a parmesan, you could add some pecorino. So we have our cheeses. I'm going to add some lemon zest. Calzleme, we know it's got a distinctly delicious lemony attitude to it. Mix this together. We may not need to see, seasoning cheese is a little bit obnoxious, don't you think? No. That's good. But our cheesy bed and really tangy, lovely artichoke and spinach salad, we're gonna call it. I'm gonna check on the dough. It's beautiful, soft, and elasticy. This is actually gonna work beautifully for this. It's not about fancy pizza dough. It should be something that you can knock up really quickly at home. Now, I'm just gonna give this a little bit of help with flour so it don't completely stick. It's actually the shape of a human heart, probably like 20, 25 centimeters. We can just do a little stretch work. So we have ricotta, mozzarella, feta, lemon zest. So a centimeter cheese bed. Then we have our spinach, artichoke, dry chilli, salt, garlic, white wine vinegar. The beauty of this cheese mixture. So we're gonna fold this over. I mean, it's gonna ooze out, I'm sure of it, but I do wanna get some of those air bubbles out. Give it a little rub with oil. Now you could do this with a brush, it's a good feeling. May as well do the other side while we're here. I'm gonna turn my grill onto medium-high. Calzleme, about to go onto the grill pan on the stovetop. Nailing it. Looks amazing, isn't spilling everywhere. Okay, so our calzleme is looking absolutely beautiful. Golden stripes on either side. The dough is perfectly cooked around the edge, puffy, delicious, and soft. See what it looks like. It's pretty oozy and delicious. This was never gonna be a tidy affair. Oh, the dough is so soft. Calzleme, where calzone met gozleme and could never be torn apart. A squeeze of lemon. Oh my God. Comfort TV food, Saturday lunch with friends food, picnic food, just great food. Oh, it's so tangy, salty. All the cheese is just melted together beautifully. And then this sweet, tender aftertaste of artichokes. And the dough, I mean, perfect, soft, delicious, golden. I just need a glass of wine now.